Paintball nerd.
Today's guest on Paintball Nerds Fun 5 started playing paintball in 2006. He went pro in 2012 with X Factor, where he still plays. He's got 3 pro wins. He coaches many teams in the Texas area. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Jesse Stevens.
How's it going, everybody?
So, Jesse, I've heard rumors, and it's possible that you've proclaimed it yourself as well, that you are the true paintball nerd. What do you say to that?
I can definitely add to that. There are some definite trivia stuff that I can add to. But
give us some paintball nerd knowledge.
Definitely paintball nerd at heart. So me and Ryan Hall used to have a running joke about this, but I can still name every NXL event winner dating back to 2006. I think the Texas Open of 2006. And
really?
I mean, I have a pretty in-depth knowledge of a lot of paintball players out there, just because I mean I love paintball. I love the storylines. I really enjoy, just everything that kind of goes into the sport, from the media side to the players and the know and what's really going on. So I mean, just overall, I'm a big paintball nerd at heart and love the sport very dearly.
Dude, PB Leagues only has as late as 2015, so you know more than PB Leagues.
Maybe. We'll see.
Go ahead, name them. Name the winners.
I've definitely written. So the funny enough, we just had the Austin event, but the winner of the last event in Austin in 2006 was the Philly Americans. And then I believe the Russians won the Vegas event that year. Excessive won the Chicago event. The Russians won again in SoCal in 2006. They won the World Cup that year as well. Going into 2007, the Ironman won that first LA Open event. In MAO, the Russians won. They beat X Factor. That was X Factor's first pro showing. Like five events in as well, which crazy. If that's right, might have been 4 events in. But then Chicago, X Factor won. They beat the Ironman in the finals. The 4th event that year, Omaha, 2007, the Russians won. And then that World Cup, the Ironman won. 2008, Infamous won with 7 guys on the roster. And what was that event? Phoenix. That was the first Phoenix Open. Second event in 2008, MAO. The Ironman. No, not the Ironman. I'm sorry. MAO 2008. Dynasty won. That was the year they got Skinny Kevin coaching. Third event,
wow.
Chicago, Damage won. That was their first pro win. It was also their first year in pro. 4th event, 2008, Northeast Open, Smart Parts event. Dynasty won again. World Cup, Ironman. That was their back-to-back. 2009,
Dang,
first event. Yeah, first event, 2009, Philly won. That was a big dry spell win for them, especially playing the Ironman in the finals. So getting that monkey off of their back, that was a big win for them. Second event, Ironman Philly in the finals again. Philly threw that away. They got a major penalty right at the end that costed them that event. So Ironman won. Let's see. There were only 4 events that year. So Chicago, the 3rd event. Russians beat the shit out of Aftermath. After Aftermath went on a run that event. Had a real gritty match with the Philly Americans. This is 2009. And then World Cup 2009. Yeah, Russians beat Philly. That next year, 2010, first event, Damage. Second event, Infamous. Third event, Russians again. And then fourth event, they beat Philly again, or no, they beat Aftershock in that finals in 2010. 7-0'd them.
Dude,
2011,
so you
Dynasty
remember
gets
like
Oliver
the
back. They go on a run.
scores? Like you remember like the tension in the
I couldn't tell you the
games?
scores.
Well, a lot of
Yeah,
them you do.
I couldn't tell you the scores or like that, but like I mean, I could kind of tell you like roughly what kind of happened, whether or not it was a blowout or you know
And it's because you
it
were
was a close
there and you
match. But for the
remember it.
most, I mean, between Dirter, me being there, like I just remember it all. But like I love those finals matches to me, and I'm the same way with like NFL and NBA and like the storylines of like, yeah, like this team beat this team in the finals this year, but the next year they got their revenge, like they came back and won, like stuff like that. Like I like seeing the trends and like the rises and of teams and them going on their runs or that kind of stuff. But it's just fun to me. And I mean, we could sit here and go through it all, but I got
I
to
mean,
dig
you
into the
proved it,
memory
dude. Like
banks.
you definitely you definitely recall quite a bit. Like
Yeah,
do you think there's a paintball nerd that's more like a bigger paintball nerd than you?
absolutely. I don't think I'm the biggest paintball nerd, but I think I'm in there. I think Maddie could use me for commentary just to fact check stuff. Like I can
Totally.
go into my little notebook. Who's Joe Rogan's guy? Jamie? I could be
Jamie.
Maddie's Jamie, just sitting there like fact checking stuff, after the
John
fact. But
Dresser's he's a good nerd too.
yeah,
But
I mean,
like
obviously I don't know it all, but
yeah,
like
but like
that's
I don't think even Maddie knows like he can say like who won an event since 2007. That's impressive, you know.
yeah. But I mean, I enjoy like watching paintball like that and just seeing the outcome of these events and the storylines from event to event. Like the teams trending upward or all that stuff. Guys going on runs, teams figuring it out, and ascending and all that stuff. It's cool.
We need more people like you, Jesse. We need more paintball nerds.
Gotta lose you.
It's good for the sport.
Yeah. I don't
So,
know if there's many like me.
how did you tell us about your journey to X Factor? How'd you get there?
So growing up, I got very lucky and crossed paths with Sean McDonald, who at the time, and this is 2006, maybe beginning of
Gotcha.
2007, Sean was playing on the Ironman at the time when they were, in my opinion, when they were at their height. I mean, the roster was absolutely star-studded in 2007 with many names that are still on top of the game today. I mean, Alex Goldman, Marcelo, Sean, Brandon Short. I mean, those four guys alone were the children, the kids on that team, and two of those guys are still tearing it up today. I mean, you know,
Mm.
Marcelo's just been on a run as of recent, and I mean, we all know Mouse is a threat. We all know Mouse is one of the winningest guys out there. I mean, just between those two guys, and then like, I mean, all those guys, and then um, a lot of the people they had on the roster. I mean, that was a crazy good team built to beat the Russians, who were on a tear like in that era. So like, I think I caught Sean at the right time, and Sean was at the height of his game, and I got to witness it firsthand. And I mean, we befriended each other, and I approached him, and I mean, I wanted it. I was seeking, knowledge and mentorship, and I think he noticed, I had that hunger, that fire in me to chase the dream. And I mean, I expressed that to him. We started working together, and I mean, he was picking me up in his 350Z at like 7 o'clock in the morning to go to the field to do, drills, snap
Yeah.
shooting drills, one-on-one drills with him. Like, and that was a crazy period in my life too, when I was like really just getting my feet under me and like just kind of going through it as a teenager and just figuring out like who I am and like what I wanted to do. And paintball just you know completely captivated me, and I was all in. I mean, for the longest time, it was all paintball. I mean, I would go home, you know, do my schoolwork, play video games, and then I'm on YouTube watching paintball and, thinking about the weekend and, going out during the week and doing drills, like literally had my had a scuba tank in my Tacoma and would go out to the field and fill up my air tank. Like Drew Bankston, the owner of LA Extreme, who, is like family to me. Slidell, Louisiana, best field in the area. And he'd give me the gate code, and he'd let me in the field, and I'd go out and do my drills like after school, with a case of paint from Academy, Stinger, like from Academy, and just go do snap shooting drills, snapping at poles, running around, doing whatever, playing one-on-ones with buddies and stuff. Like, I mean, and that's what it was all about. I mean, I truly chased it and just gave it every effort that I had, and really, really chased after that. And to the point where like I've tried out for X Factor on 2 occasions, and in 2011, and then finally in 2012 when I made it. But like I had to go to Texas to even get that shot, which Crunchy opened that door for me. And I mean, I had to take the ball and run with it and prove to all those guys. And I mean, Alex still tells the story, I told him at one point in time, I'm gonna play for your team. And of course he thought that was amusing, and he didn't believe me at the time. But a few years down the road, I'm here, and now we have tenure. I mean, I've been a part of. I mean, I've lived in Texas now for 11 years. I've done 2 campaigns with X Factor. Got on the team in 2012 and played through the 2013 season. Left, played Division I for a few years. 2 of those with AC Diesel at the time, who was still semi-pro. And then I got bumped up to AC Dallas in 2017, played a season there, had a good season. And then X Factor asked me to come back, and I've been back since 2018. So, and we've had we've had our runs, we're gearing up for another one right now. The team's trending in the right direction. It's looking strong. The vibe's right. Everyone's, got their intentions and their mind in the right place. And I mean, we're all here to win. So it's looking good, and we're gearing towards that. I mean, everyone saw it at the last event. I mean, we're right there with Dynasty. We don't bounce Mike Urena off the break in overtime. I mean, we might be saying a different story,
True.
But that's the nature of the beast. That's the nature of the game. There's a lot of what ifs, but I think we're flirting with it. We're right there again to go on another run like we did in 2019. And like I said, I mean, everybody's been playing some really good ball, and the team's just gelling and coming together really well. So, and yeah, I mean, I've been with X Factor now for 8 years, give or take, and it's been a hell of a ride. But I owe a lot of that to my inner circle and the guys that help nurture me and my paintball career, and steered me in the right direction. So truly feel like everything happens for a reason. I'm in the right place, and things played out the way they should have. But yeah, I mean, coming up in Louisiana, it was a tough grind. And I actually came up playing with a lot of the New Orleans Hurricanes guys, and I owe quite a few of those guys a lot, because they helped mentor me, much like Crunchy did. I mean, Drew Bell and Stuart Ridgel have both played a huge part in my paintball career in the beginnings, where Drew and Stu and even Anton, we would all play one-on-ones after 7-man practices in 2010, 2011, like all afternoon, just beating me into the ground, and like really taught me where I was. And I really grew from a lot of that, just those years of playing guys that were much better than me, who those guys were playing pro 7-man at the time, and it was like detrimental for my paintball career to get looks like that and just get drilled into the ground every weekend, and have to figure out my game and my strength, excuse me, even my weaknesses and build on that. Right. So that was huge. And then going into, 2011, I tried out for X Factor, didn't make the team, but played on a divisional team in the area. And that led to my tryout in 2012 with the team, which they did the roster that year. So that's where it kind of all unfolded, and moved out, made their practice squad, moved out to Texas that same year. Cause I mean, that was my second semester of college and I was ready for just a new change of scenery. And, ex Texas seemed like the perfect move for me at the time. And it ended up being that. So yeah, it's
Yeah, man,
been a wild ride
sounds
ever
like
since.
you've had a lot of players pour into you, right? And you had to be an empty cup for that to happen. You had to want it, and it sounds like some people really showed up for you. Crunchy being one of them, and it sounds like you're doing that now in Texas, right? You're coaching a lot of people, teams, and players in Texas now.
Yeah, I do my best to give back and help out all the local talent, within, my region. I mean, the San Antonio area alone. I'm involved with, I've been involved with quite a few teams. This year specifically, I'm helping out a Division 4, Division 5 team by the name of Jackpot. Matt Blanco and his son Cameron. I've been really helping them out this year, and I mean this is real fresh. This is like 2 months in, and Cameron, Matt's son, is 11 years old, and he has all the skill sets. Super sharp, you know, very athletic for his age. He's involved in other sports too, and it's just incredible to see like the level he's at, And I always think to myself, I'm like, if Tyler Harmon did it at 14, and I gave this kid the blueprint and I really gave him my best effort to just groom him and prep him for everything ahead of him and kind of just see how it unfolds and how it snowballs, like where he could be at by the time he's that age. And I mean, not
If he
no one,
loves it,
no one is really Tyler Harmon. Yeah, exactly. And you got to love it at the end of the day. I mean, myself, I mean, half the reason why I even made it this far is because I was obsessed. I loved
Yeah,
it so much. And I mean, I
exactly.
stayed up till the very, very early hours in the morning watching every paintball video like known to man on the internet. And, I think that's really helped me in so many areas. I mean, that love, that passion for the sport. I mean, you have to have it, that that desire to strive to be the best version of yourself and do everything you can to be the best player you can be, put forth the best product out there. I mean, that's kind of what it comes back to. I mean, you have to love this. And I mean, it goes back to that. And I see that in a lot of players, but a lot of guys aren't willing to do the work and they aren't willing to, I mean, situations play a big factor as well. And I mean, I did have a lot of help. Not only did I have Crunchy and all those guys, Drew Bankston, Stu, Drew, like all these guys who helped me out. But I mean, my parents supported me. I mean, and I mean, I still remember my dad has driven me 8 hours east and 8 hours west, for tryouts, practices, all that. And I mean, it all came together. It really did.
Yeah.
But like the hard work, and that determination, it has to be there. It plays a huge part of it. So, a lot of players nowadays, they ask, what does it take? Well, it takes that. Like you have to be willing to go the distance, on all fronts, handle your business at home, obviously, school, work, whatever, but be able to juggle all that and then, you know, make paintball work as well and give 110% at it, whether that's in the gym, at the field, you know, washing tape. Like that's one of the biggest things I tell players nowadays. Like you have this wealth of knowledge and, YouTube with free games and,
Yeah.
everything at your fingertips, you know, and like I didn't have that. I mean, we had PB Star for a little while, and I mean, I nerded out on all that and everything that, you know, was available on YouTube, you know, Splat XD, whatever, you know. But yeah, a lot of these kids are spoiled nowadays, and especially like I tell everybody in Texas, like, man, you have at least like 4 regional series going on that, you know, you can just pick and choose or play all of them, right? So, you know, I didn't really have that growing up. You know, we were lucky to even have one series, you know, and it was always, you know, hit or miss, you know, whether or not I was around or not. And I had to travel. I had to travel to go play, you know, any sort of event. So, yeah,
You worked your ass off. You took advantage of opportunities that were available to you, and now it's paid off, man. You've created a lot of amazing memories in paintball. So for you, Jesse, tell
absolutely.
us about your most memorable moment in paintball.
Um, it has to be winning the 2019 series because I mean, there's a lot of good teams that win events and they don't win the series. So in 2019, when X Factor went on our run, we won. We had 4 podiums, and within that, I mean, we had a back-to-back pro win. We had back-to-back pro wins in Philly and Chicago. So, I mean, that was really special within itself. And then to cap it off, we won the series at the end of the year. So, I mean, it hindsight, I mean, that was a very, very memorable year as a whole because I felt like I took a big jump in my game and I had a lot of the right people in my corner mentoring me and you know, a lot of it just all came together, and so that was huge. I I thought this past year winning with Breakout Spa in Birmingham, England, in Europe, that was big. There's not a lot of people win in Europe, and
Yeah,
I've only played 3 European events total. So that was very special to me, especially considering there's been multiple X Factor players that have played for Breakout Spa and over the years. And, you know, I guested with them for 2 events and we ended up winning one. And the owner, Axel Knopf, I mean, I can't say enough about Axel and the experiences I had over there, staying in Belgium and meeting, you know, so many incredible people. And then winning with them. I mean, I know that meant a lot to him because that I know for a fact that was his first professional win in 20 plus years of being involved in paintball.
wow.
And the fact that we did that together, um, you know, it was just special. And, you know, Skinny Kevin was over there coaching and helped out and did an incredible job with that. And, you know, I got to spend a lot of time with him and it was just a great overall experience. You know, just seeing the world and, you know, making new friends that, you know, those friendships that'll last a lifetime, you know, especially when you win
Yeah.
together. Like I think like those are special, you know. So it was an awesome experience. And I mean, I could even say like I went on a run there in Mexico from 2019 to 2020 when we won 3 in a row. I mean, granted there was a little break in there with COVID, but
Yeah.
Grayson Gladstone and myself, we won over there with all those guys, and it was just so much fun. You know, we created memories that'll last a lifetime as well. You know, it's all that. It's the relationships, you know, winning together, just getting out there and, you know, being able to travel the world a little bit and do all that. I mean, it's everything I had dreamed of, you know. Never did I think I would be like traveling the world and doing it, you know, when I did, but you know, when I was a kid, I would have just been happy to play pro and to to think that it's gotten this deep and I've gone this far down the rabbit hole and it's still going. It's just it's mind-boggling, you know. And I feel like the best is yet to come. The team's in a great place. I feel like I've been playing some of my best paintball too. So, you know, it's just a matter of when and just continuing to keep chipping away at that stone, you know, keep sharpening the sword and, you know, keep going. So
Yeah. You know,
it's
you
been
talked
awesome.
about winning and, you know, creating the memories that way. and also the relationships. I think, two of the most valuable things in paintball are the memories that you create and the people that you create them with. And I mean, you've mentioned some incredible players, but I'm sure there's people within your sphere of influence that have had a big role in getting you to where you're at. Jesse, who would you say is your favorite teammate of all time?
Um, Probably Colt Roberts, without a doubt, just because Colt has always been in my corner from the get-go. And even the years when I was playing divisionally in Texas for the X Factor divisional team, I always reached out to Colt, whether it was Facebook Messenger or whatever, and he would always respond with a wealth of knowledge and, always looked out for me. And like the
Hmm.
weekends I would be in town and practicing and they were there, he'd be on the sideline helping coach me. I'll never forget we were we were doing a 7-man practice back when 7-man was around. We're doing a 7-man practice, mixing in against X Factor and Texas Storm at the time with Mark Johnson. And playing at the old X Factor field, Maximum as San Marcos. And Colt and Alex Martinez are on the sideline coaching me, in the snake on a 7-man field, which granted, maybe against the rules a little bit because it's 7-man and there was no coaching, but they're
Yeah.
they're helping joystick me, and like I get into the snake with Mark Johnson in front of me, and we all know Mark, legend in his own right. And I get in the snake and just, crawl to the 50. I think I shot a guy across field and like I goon handed around the bunker because I knew he was there and shoot Mark and like Alex and Colt are all hyped up and, they're coaching me along and whatnot. But it was little things like that. And to this day, you know, Colt has always been like that big brother. And now that he's like the captain of the team, he's just always in my corner. He always seems like he always knows to say the right thing, to get the
Hmm.
best out of me, you know, and he's just been incredible. Very close second.
Oh, I love
Go
Meter.
ahead.
Let's talk about Meter. I love Meter.
Meter's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
Meter's
Why do
been
you
on
love
a
Meter?
tear too.
Yeah.
Just very genuine person, great player, will do anything for his friends.
Yeah.
He's wise beyond his years. And I mean, that's a testament to, his parents and just the experiences he's had throughout his life and the exposure to all the great minds, that he's been around. And like I said, those experiences, the friendships, the relationships, all that. But yeah, Meter's always been there for me, and again, always knows the right thing to say when I'm up, two down, whatever it is. He he's a fantastic teammate and a great friend.
Yeah. I Meter is a new friend of mine, but like I felt like I instantly connected with him, and he's just kind of one of those guys that observes and then says the right things and does the right
Yes.
things. He's just a really stellar human being.
Yeah, I mean, I could go down the list of X Factor guys who are just incredible. I mean, Alex Martinez, like at the top of the list. Like I owe him everything, and he's been that father figure in my life who's always steered me in the right direction, especially off the field. And I could say the same thing about Ryan Brand. Ryan's been that older brother, that guy in your corner that you need, and just a very emotionally intelligent person
Mm.
and phenomenal coach. So, I mean, I could sit here and talk about all my teammates, but like Alex and Ryan have played huge roles within my personal life and have always looked out for my best interests as well. And especially last year when I was kind of going through a little bit of a rough patch on and off the field, and like they really helped me get back on track. And now I'm crushing on all fronts, and I really owe it to those two guys. Really just helping me, uh, you know, get on the right path.
Yeah.
From a career standpoint and with paintball, getting me in the right mindset for everything. Because I mean, we all go through the ups and downs of life, and you know, I I let paintball become a little overwhelming last year, and started losing that love for the game, and
Mm,
just was letting a lot of like off field things get to me. And sometimes you need that little reset to unplug a little bit to realize how much you love the sport and love the game. And I was able to play in Europe uh, a little bit, like while I was kind of away, and it just reinvigorated everything. I mean, I got my career going. I was able to spend a little bit of time like playing in Europe, and then I got that win over there. Was able to come back, um, towards the latter half of last year, and enter into a new chapter of my career. And I feel like I've been playing some of my best paintball. You know,
it's amazing, dude. So how
favorite player
about
to watch though,
yeah, favorite player to watch?
Tyler
They could be
Harmon.
retired.
Tyler Harmon.
Okay, Tyler Harmon. That's a good one. Can't even
Tyler
argue
Harmon.
with that one. I just got to agree, you know?
Well, the other side of that too is we practice heat a lot, and I get to see him firsthand, and like the energy he brings to the game, and just his skill set. He's a player you can never count out.
Yeah.
Whether it's a 1-on-3 or 5-on-5. You just can't count him out. You can't take your eyes off of him, because he's gonna do something. He'll pull the game back. He'll go out, eat up a bunch of bodies, and put his team in the right position. Like he's truly been on one as of recent. And I mean, you could say the same thing about Marcelo as well. Marcelo's been on a tear, past handful of events, it seems. But like, I get to witness Tyler playing firsthand, a lot, just because we practice them, and I'm having to go against them, right? And I'm listening to the conversations. I'm watching him, and his approach to the game, and it's inspiring. I mean, and it's just dope to watch. He's an exciting player. He's always in the mix, doing crazy stuff out there. It's just cool. It's cool.
Yeah. I really
Makes me
enjoy
want to
watching
work
Tyler
harder.
too.
Want to get shot
And how
down.
he like shoots over the top of a stand-up bunker. Not many people can do that, you know.
He just leaps over bunkers. One-handed through the air, bunkering guys. It's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
he's a
Jesse, what's
stud. I really
what's your
enjoy
most
watching him. But
cherished
like,
paintball item?
I know I talked to you earlier. I mean, like the headbands to me, those are like your badges. And I feel like I have all these chapters within my paintball career, and like all these headbands that mean something significant, that I can always think back to. I have a few right here, but this green flying skulls here, as you can see, one side's way way newer than the other, not worn in. But like, this was my first headband ever, and I think I got this. Well, my first like real headband. This is my first
Yeah.
Venom wear, but got this at Chicago in 2010, the event Infamous one. Fun fact.
Nice.
I have one of the first Astra bands made. Got to give a big shout out to Meter and Astra. He always takes care of me. Always hooks me up with the drip. So, and this is very worn in black denim. So, faded real well. But I mean, this is a super special, dope piece to me, because I mean, wear this one a lot. Um, I know we did a video at this last tournament, but Oliver came down for a dynasty practice, for World Cup, and was giving everybody Hormesis bands at the end of practice. And just the fact that he pulled me aside and gave this to me. I mean, it's Oliver too. Growing up, idolizing that guy. Very special. So that was
Those are
a
good.
cool moment to have. But there's another one, because Mouse and I go way back, and Crunchy would always bring him down to LA Extreme and Slidell and run points against me and some of the boys out there, drill our heads into the ground. The spiel. But we beat them in the quarterfinals in 2019 in Chicago. well, beat Impact while he was on Impact. We beat them in the quarterfinals, and I had a big point that helped, kind of shift the direction of the match. And he, at the end of after we beat them, he pulled me aside and he gave me this headband, this Alex Goldman Flying Skull Venom wear, from I guess it was the first run that they did it, but it just meant a lot to me because I mean we have history. I have a lot of respect for Al. He's been a good friend. Him and Kyle always hook me up with Tiger Wear stuff as well. But no, this just meant a lot to me because I had a big match, and it was like giving me the nod afterwards, and him giving me this headband that he wore in that match when we beat them. I mean, it just meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
And then I got another Tiger Wear band that I've been rocking as of recent that Kyle and Alex hooked me up with. So the headbands for me are always it's a big deal. If something were to ever happen, I would always be more upset over the headbands and whatnot going missing rather than a gun that's replaceable. To me,
Sure.
I mean, those aren't replaceable. All this stuff's irreplaceable. All the
Yeah.
memories, it's like your badge. So
Yeah, and it's amazing when someone gives you
the
something
headbands are a
and they
big deal.
put meaning behind it, and they're like saying, "Hey, like they're essentially
Absolutely.
gifting you something uh, to commemorate whatever a game or your performance, or just like you said, give you the nod." So I think that's what one of the unique things about headbands is, they can carry those special meanings, and then you wear them on your head. Like it's this thing that's wrapped around your head. You're sweating into it. Sometimes you're bleeding into it.
Yeah.
So they end up being very special garments. So Jesse, what advice would you give to a kid who wants to be a professional paintball player, wants to make it to where you're at in paintball? What advice would you give them?
If you think you're working hard, you're not working hard enough. You need to be doing everything in your power off the field, on the field, you know, watching footage, asking questions, reaching out to more pro players and, just picking their brains. I don't think enough people do that, And I mean, I used to bug guys like Marcelo on PB Nation, and obviously Colt Roberts and I went back and forth for the longest time. I would always be picking his brain, but like I made it a point to reach out to guys, that I either emulated or really respected, watch their game, all of that. Like my favorite player growing up was Brandon Short, and like I made it a point to try and stop him, whether it was at events or message him, whatever it may be, to just pick his brain. And I mean, I really watched a lot of footage, as much as I possibly could. I mean, I probably went through every video on YouTube that was paintball related, tenfold, multiple times. So like, yeah, if you think you're working hard, you're not. You need to be going out to the field, putting in the extra work, you know, watching matches. All these kids nowadays are spoiled. They have Go Sports, for free on YouTube, you know, or you can buy the subscription, which you should, and watch the entirety of the tournament, the
Absolutely.
finals matches, all of that. I just think like kids need to be doing all the extra work, you know. That's what it amount like, and just putting yourself in those situations on weekends, like where you have to figure out those mid to late game low body situations. Um, really making it a point to practice those kind of things. Whether it's with your team or at a scrimmage or just you got a handful of guys and you run 3-on-3s or whatever it may be, like just playing more paintball, doing all the difficult stuff, working on your weaknesses. Like I think more players need to do that. It's not just going to the field and doing snap shooting drills. I mean, you need to be in the situations, playing more tournaments. I think
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing too. And nowadays, I was saying it earlier. I mean, everyone like this youth, this surge that we have of, young paintball players, like they have all of these regional tournaments at their fingertips. You need to be playing more than just the NXL. You need to be playing every local tournament you possibly can, getting that really crucial tournament experience, when it counts, like that Sunday experience when your back's against
Yeah.
the wall and it's win or lose. So like it's all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's so many there's so many things on the checklist you need to be doing, but it truly comes down to playing tournaments and really just doing your homework, watching footage. I mean, I think that's like the end all be all, And I will say from a personal standpoint, that's what helped me, watching myself, watching the tournament in general, and just, you know, watching the guys who play your position or the guys you're going up
Mm.
against, those guns that you have to get through, knowing what they're doing, what their tendencies are, what their adjustments are, and like fully understanding the broader, scope of what's really going on, like the flow of the game. I think I think that's something, not a lot of guys do.
What are you most thankful for that paintball's given you?
The friendships, the relationships, and you can say the ability to travel and just live my dream, you know. As a young kid, I wanted to play paintball on the highest level, and to not only do it here in the States, but to travel the world and experience different cultures, meet new people from completely different way of life and still have, that common factor, that love for paintball, you know. It's been it's been awesome, and I'm very, very thankful for it. And I'm like, my team is very thankful for the individuals on X Factor and, you know, the relationships there, the lifelong relationships there. It's incredible. You know, I I'm truly blessed and thankful to be a part of such an awesome team with such a great owner, and you know, Alex has been so crucial to not just Texas paintball, but to paintball as a whole. I mean, I can't tell you how many people bring up the BKIT documentary to me, and
Yes.
have that connection. Especially like I was talking about my jackpot guys earlier. Matt and Cameron. Like just like hearing that story from them. Like man, like Alex and his sons and the team. Like that just hit home. Like hearing that story, like multiple times from like just so many different people. It's incredible. It's inspiring. Like Alex has done some magic, and X Factor's his baby, and I feel like the team's just been in a great place, and throughout all the ups and downs too. Like we're our core is just incredible, and
Mm.
you know the story's not done.
Awesome. Well, Jesse, dude, thank you so much for your time here. Is there anything that you'd like to part with for the paintball community?
Never never lose that childish love for paintball. I think a lot of guys, and myself included, like, when we hit those little rough patches, whether it's life or paintball, we start to lose that love for the game, that original, feeling, that
Mm.
passion for it, that we were connected with the sport through. So like never lose that. And like the game will always be fun, and it'll be rewarding in so many ways. Just don't. I think LB Fowl said it best on Serial Killers too. Just never take the game for granted.
Awesome. Thank you, Jesse.
Of course. Thank you.